Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. School out west mourns gruesome murder of students. Deputy Mayor calls for a state of emergency in sections of St. James. And later in sports, 3 first-time overseas invitees in Reggae Boys Friendly Squad. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. A manhunt has been launched for the perpetrator behind a triple murder in Salt Spring, St. James on Monday. 2 of the 3 persons killed are students of the Chetwood Primary School. Details in this report. Mourning at Chetwood Memorial Primary School in Montego Bay, St. James. This following the brutal murder of students 7-year-old Justin Perry and 9-year-old Nicoliva Smith. A third person identified as 26-year-old Tevin Hale also died in the attack. They were in a taxi which was sprayed with bullets. The police say the gunman was armed with a rifle. He was reportedly hiding in bushes, but as Hale entered the vehicle, he opened fire. The victims received wounds to their heads and upper bodies. When TVJ News visited the Chetwood Primary School Tuesday morning, students, teachers, and parents could not hold back the tears.
Teachers are affected, children are affected. Because we have children from many other classes who would be friends of these children, and they would travel with them to home in the evenings. And some of them recall that they just got off the vehicle and they heard the gunshots. It could be any one of them. So these children, I don't know how they are going to cope, but we have to work with them to cope through all of this.
This parent told TVJ News that she knew one of the students personally.
So this morning, honestly, as a parent, words cannot explain how, when I got the call this morning, I could feel it in the pit of my gut that it was a student from my daughter's class.
She said he will fondly be remembered. That
little boy, every evening when I come to school for my daughter, he would be the first one to say, "This is my mommy, this is May's around here, here's her bag," and he would pick up her bag and he would take it to the vehicle. He was always jovial, he was always helpful. I mean, to know that he's no longer there, it's painful.
And I believe that those who are linked to this killing, the persons who are the killers, they must be brought to justice swiftly and quickly.
And Prime Minister Andrew Holness has also strongly condemned the attack, saying enough is enough. Mr. Holness described it as a senseless act of terror.
They violate the ultimate right of every human being, the right to life. These gunmen choose to execute their wanton violence indiscriminately in public spaces and on innocent civilians, including children. This indiscriminate and random violence not only creates local fear, but creates a national feeling of insecurity as the probability of being a victim rises for everyone. These gunmen and gang members are not mere criminals.
He says the gunmen are terrorists, which is why his administration will continue to invest heavily in increasing the capacity and capabilities of the security forces.
That the perpetrator of this act will be caught in short order by our police. However, this is after the fact of the loss of innocent lives. We must implement tougher measures to create greater deterrence against the commission of these acts of terror in the future. This is why we have passed a new Bail Act and a new Firearms Act, which increase the penalty for possession and use of illegal firearms.
Deputy Mayor of Montego Bay, St. James, Richard Vernon, is calling for another state of emergency in the parish. Mr. Vernon says this is needed to bring the crime situation under control.
Why it is necessary, persons have their different views, but why it is necessary is this. You call a state of public emergency when you have unprecedented situations. And
our particular unprecedented situation is a culture of crime, and it is not something that happens suddenly. It happens over time. A culture is built over time. And it is now at that state where you need to intervene and manage a situation, and then now you utilize the other methods to deal with the correction within the space, such as a social intervention.
To other news now, the Savlamar police are investigating a fire that destroyed a supermarket Monday evening. According to reports, the Jamaica Fire Brigade was called minutes after 9. 2 units from the Savlamar Fire Station responded and 1 from Negril.
On arrival of the first responding crew, the building was seen fully engulfed with flames. A quick size up was done, and firefighting activities commenced, which lasted for in excess of 6 hours. The building, which was being operated as a supermarket, constructed of concrete with slab roofing along with 2 40-foot containers, and all its contents were completely destroyed in the blaze. Adjoining premises were not affected as the fire was contained from early by the swift actions of the firefighters.
Business owners of New Forum Fishing Village in St. Catherine are left to pick up the pieces. This is after fire ripped through the fishing village Tuesday morning. The Jamaica Fire Brigade was alerted about the fire sometime after 7 a.m. The cause is unknown.
This is my second loss. First loss, I didn't get any help. And this is my second loss. I lost everything. I don't get to save anything.
At the grace of Father God, I never sleep in my shop last night. Come there up until 2 o'clock. And so I go lie down and sleep. I say, no, so I go home and baby them to go school. And I grace, thank God someone have my life, and I'm grateful.
Earlier last year, fire gutted 14 shops, leaving millions of dollars in damage. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The governing Jamaica Labour Party continues to tout what it says are the successes gained in stabilizing the local economy. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark was speaking at a party meeting recently. Karen Simpson reports.
In addition to crime, the state of the economy has for years been a major sticking point for the electorate. However, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark argues under the Andrew Holness-led government, things are looking up for Jamaica.
We have the highest reserves in our history. We have the lowest unemployment in our history. And our debt is the lowest that it has been for 25 years. Now, those are gains we have to protect with everything that we have.
He responded to criticisms by the opposition about the gains not trickling down to the average Jamaican.
For the micro to take off in a sustainable way, we need the macro to be stable. And that is what this government has achieved.
Dr. Clark insists the government is committed to improving the quality of life for citizens.
Jamaica is at a stage of economic development and achievement that we have not had before, ever in our history. And the Jamaica Labour Party government, under the leadership of Andrew Michael Holness, intends to leverage this macro stability to continue to improve the quality of life for the Jamaican people.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
In the meantime, Member of Parliament for St. Catherine's Southwestern Everald Warmington is calling for an end to disunity among party supporters. Speaking at a recent meeting, he says in order for the party to take all seats in the Portmore municipality, there needs to be togetherness.
Put aside any personal feelings you have. Put aside any personal animosity you may have against each other. Don't work for your party. Bury any bitterness you have. You can work in a divided team. Let us unite. We have taken 2 out of 3. For years we didn't have none. I know we can take 3 out of 3. We have only 2 divisions out of 12. We have 2 out of 12. I know we can take the majority.
Again, a charge for the leadership in the divisions and constituencies to meet the people where they are.
But we don't win by talking. We win by working. And my advice to the team, you start pound the pavement. You don't have 40% turnout in this constituency. And Fitz Jackson win by 1,000 or 1,500. When at the same time you have, what, almost 60% of the constituency not voting. They are there, ready to come into the fold.
The Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, is appealing for persons to apply to be election day workers. Mr. Brown was speaking on the morning agenda on Power 106 Tuesday.
During an election period, we seek to recruit in excess of 28,000 persons. These includes presiding officers, poll clerks, supervisors, reserves, passers, known as the one-day policemen. We have the logistical support and other administrative support. So in total, we recruit close to 28,000 persons.
Mr. Brown also said that these persons need to be recruited in the process to protect the integrity of the system.
We have close to 70 offices across every constituency have an office. Individuals who are interested to be a part of the team, all they need to do is to go to one of our constituency offices, the nearest and the most convenient one to them. They give them an application form, just fill that form out, and then we will process the application form, and then you'll be called, and then we'll take you to the necessary training.
It's time for the Business Minute.
International credit rating agency Moody's has commented on the bond issued by the government of Jamaica valued at $46 billion. The agency says the government's use of the proceeds from the Jamaican dollar-linked bond issuance to buy back outstanding US dollar-denominated bonds is a step in the right direction. Moody's says this will reduce the government's exposure to foreign exchange risk, which is a credit positive. Moody's also said over time, a continued reduction in the government's exposure to exchange rate risk would address one of the sovereign's key credit challenges. Further afield, WeWork, the shared office firm that was once valued at $47 billion, has been forced to file for bankruptcy in the US. The decision follows the meteoric rise and fall of the company, which was once seen as the future of the workplace. WeWork's filing will give it protection from its creditors and landlords as it restructures its vast debts. And there was a 23% drop in net profit in the third quarter for Saudi state oil giant Aramco. Its net profit was $32.6 billion. The company attributed the drop to lower crude oil prices and volumes sold. The third quarter net profit result marked a steep decline from $42.4 billion the same time last year. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm O'Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.